Computer. Okay, I think we're recording. Are we recording?
Looks like it.
Does it look like it? Okay,
It says recording. Yep, you're good.
Very good. All right. Welcome, everybody. Nicole's going to keep you guys muted until we get to the end, and then we can answer questions then. But welcome. We're going to start here in about 2 minutes. So glad you guys came to join us today. Okay. 2 minutes. 1 minute. Like Alex Trebek. Samuel, Melanie is going to have a bunch of Canada questions for you later.
Oh, okay.
Yay. He goes, wait a minute. Canada was once owned by France? He was really confused. As we're doing the, colonization stuff for 8th grade.
And
so I have somebody you can talk to. You're from Quebec, right?
Yes, and they still
speak French.
They still feel very French.
No, he just had this like, huh? Look at his face. So we had this great book. It's a history of the world in maps. It's like a really good book if you need it for like any self-defense in your house. It's like this thick and really big. And it has all of the maps of the world and different time periods and stuff. So let's look at that. Okay. All right. Welcome everybody to the Seasons of 7 Virtual School Prospective Parent Open House. That's a really big mouthful. We are happy to have you here today. My name is Melissa Nielsen, and we have Nicole and Melanie with us as well, and we're going to have them introduce themselves here in just a moment. I want to sort of let you know that we are recording, so if by chance you do not want your face recorded, you probably want to go ahead and turn off your camera portion now. That way, because we will be sending this out to other prospective parents that have questions. So if you are conscious about that and you don't want your face recorded, then please go ahead and turn off the camera portion on your screen. Okay, so for those that don't know me, my name is Melissa Nielsen. I'm the co-owner of Waldorf Essentials and one of the directors of the Seasons of 7 Virtual School. The other co-owner is my husband of Waldorf Essentials, and we are sort of the parent company that sits on the top of the virtual school. I just relocated to Arizona in the United States, and we used to live in San Diego. And then I'm going to let Nicole introduce herself.
Nicole, I am a mother, and I'm the mother of 3 children, and I am married. We live in Colorado, and I'm also letting people join at the same time, so sorry.
Oh, that's okay.
So we live in Colorado. I've been with Waldorf Education for 7 years now. We started out in the charter world and moved into the homeschool world. So we know both sides. We've also experienced the public school world, and it was a tough challenge for us, and we are happy to be in Waldorf.
And she's one of our directors as well. And she's also a coach, and she works with me at Waldorf Essentials. And Miss Melanie.
Hello, everybody. Welcome. I'm so excited to be here with you today. My name is Melanie Novakovich, and I live in beautiful Neptune Beach, Florida. I'm a single mom. I have a 9-year-old boy. I've been homeschooling him all the way from the beginning, so he's never been in a brick and mortar school. I have a degree in education, and I am a Waldorf Essential coach. I help families bring Waldorf education into their home. I'm now one of the directors of this wonderful school, and I'm also blessed to be one of the teachers. So welcome, and I hope that we can answer all your questions today.
Very good. Very good. Okay. So how did we come to be? We sort of started this idea. The idea was just born just about 6 weeks ago. We've done a lot in 6 weeks. I had teachers and families messaging me, and what I came up with was I realized that There were teachers that needed students and they were about to lose them, or they had already lost them, and there were students that needed teachers. And I also, at the same time, have been very aware of the fact that teachers need a living wage, and not all teachers were making a living wage, and that families also needed an affordable education option. So we try to sort of do both of those things with Seasons of Seven. So our mission is lighting the hearts of families and Waldorf teachers around the world. It's short and simple because that's truly how we feel about what we're doing and this project, and we're just super excited to share it with you. Who is this for? This is for families that are displaced from their school or can't go for health or philosophical reasons, returning to their school, or in the fall, or if you're in the Southern Hemisphere, being able to finish up your school year. This is also for families that want a Waldorf teachers to assist them on bringing lessons, or families that are homeschooling and just need to get a few subjects off their plate. Maybe there's a main lesson block that they need help with, or maybe you're getting ready to have a baby and you're thinking, I'm just not even sure how I'm going to meet my child while I'm doing that. So it's for those families. Who is this not for? This is not for families who don't want to participate in the children's education. So while we have this hybrid situation where you'll be part online and part at home, what we want you to know is you will have some participation in this. This is not just the child and the teacher. So what about special needs? We've had this question a lot lately. I'm a mom of special needs. My youngest was a preemie. My oldest has ASD. I know Melanie's child was a preemie. So there are these questions that we get often. So what we know right now, again, we're only 6 weeks into getting all of this together. Our teachers will do their best, but help from the families will be required. And then as we grow, we're sort of hoping that we'll have plenty of extra lesson, dyslexia teachers that will help as we're growing. We have a couple of teachers that have already applied for positions like that. So we're hoping that as we start, we'll be able to really be able to meet those children's needs. But that's where that component of having mom helping is really important. So the importance of placement, it's really important in Waldorf. And placement is everything. In Waldorf education, we're looking at bringing the correct material at the right time. So it's this idea of you're bringing the right literature and history content when your child is developmentally ready for it. So children will be properly placed, and we're happy to help families with placement questions. We get placement questions a lot, and between the three of us, we are very knowledgeable on placement for children. So what do we have? We have we have several things to choose from. You can choose from just having blocks. You can choose from enrichment, which would be like handwork or music, or you can have a full track that has class teacher. So main lesson blocks in enrichment are shorter commitments. These last anywhere from 4 to 12 weeks, and they cover generally one subject. So music, or explorers in 7th grade, or physics. And they will be broken up by grade and by age. You can also choose a full class for kindergarten through 6th grade, where they will have all the subjects that are taught to the children in a full class setting. Those last 36 weeks, and they will have one teacher for the whole time. What if you need to do some catch up? So I've had families that have messaged me and said, we've been homeschooling, but I feel like my child is probably not completely up to speed with, say, 4th grade mathematics. What should we do? So we actually, as a team, will help you with the right resources so that you can get ready this summer and be ready to join your class in the fall. And what about the Southern Hemisphere? We get this one a lot. I think in the Northern Hemisphere, we often take for granted that there's this whole section of people that don't start school when we do. They do things differently. Their seasons are all different. So there are a lot of considerations that need to be, considered when we are looking at serving the entire world. So we definitely intend to have a track that begins at the end of January to serve those families. But the great thing about that is if you live in the Northern Hemisphere and you have an April or May birthday, and you really don't want to wait until that next fall to place your child, you could put them in a January track so that they will then, have the lessons with the other children. So you won't have to be too far off on your placement. Okay, so this is just sort of a sample school day rhythm. It's really just, I think we tend to make it too hard when we're trying to think, how is it going to look? But this is just one idea of how it can look. I'm a huge proponent of mom rising before her children, but you could rise before your children, have that time to get centered on your own, have a family breakfast, and a gathering. And by gathering, that's the traditional Waldorf school circle often, but it looks a little bit different at home. Then we usually go for a walk, have your school lessons, lunch, and then you're off and you're done for the day exploring. Now, for parents that need to work from home, which is the reality of many, many parents, we will be doing a special training during Welcome Week for those parents to sort of help you get right that balance between how can I be teacher and do my job at the same time. So my husband and I have run Waldorf Essentials for the last 15 years, and we homeschool. We have 5 children. All of them have been homeschooled, and we've had to balance that space of being the teacher and running a business at the same time. So we have a lot of experience that we're very excited to share with families that really have this situation. We also will train you on starting a co-op or a group of families that can then help each other. So maybe you need to work outside the home, but your neighbor who's also homeschooling doesn't. So we'll be working with families to help them gather other pieces of a community, a local community that will help you then with your endeavors for schooling. So the next question is, what does the site look like and how easy is it to use? So I'm going to stop sharing my screen, and Miss Melanie will share hers, and she will talk to you about that process. Okay.
Okay, let me get my screen here shared. Here we go. So we wanted to be able to give you a sneak peek of our school portal. So here's a video that we made about what's going to look like when you log into our website. So let me get that started for everybody.
Hello, this is our quick tour of our student portal. When you first log into your account, you'll see our homepage. If you get to the top, you're going to click on classes, and that's going to take you to your students' classes that you have registered your child in. Now we are going to take a look at this sample class here. We've set up a sample class to test out some of our lessons and to be able to share with you our student portal. So here we go. The first thing you'll see are the announcements. Right now the announcement says, welcome Seasons of 7 virtual school families. I'm so excited that you're here, and we're very excited to share this with you. When you scroll down, you will see the assignments. There's 2 assignment categories, current assignments and past assignments. Let's minimize the current assignments for now, and let's take a look at the past assignments. I want to take a look at the past assignments because one of the first things you'll get from your teacher is your syllabus. So let's click on the syllabus PDF. You'll open it in a separate window. You can look at your syllabus. Now this is not a complete syllabus. It will change. It is something that we popped in here so that you get an idea of what your syllabus will look like. When you're done reading your syllabus, you can either close out of this window or you can hit the back button. Either works, so let's just close this tab for now. And I'll hit the back button next time to show you how it works. We're going to minimize these past assignments, and let's go into the current assignments. Here you have a list of possible assignments that you might see in your child's classroom. We have a circle, we have movement, we have some finger knitting, we have a painting preview, a full painting lesson, and 7 days of creation lesson. Let's explore a few of these. Let's take a look at our circle. If you click on the black writing under the assignment tab, this is where you'll have a little description of what you're about to see. If you click on the blue link, this will take you to your class video. So let's click on the September circle video. It's going to take you directly to your video. When you click play, you'll have all the circle songs and the lyrics that you need for your circle. The earth is you might have some lessons right above. You might have some songs. Here I stand. usually have a closing verse. When you're done, you can, again, close out the tab, or you can hit the back button. Let's hit the back button this time. Great. And now that you've completed viewing this assignment, you can close it out, and we can look at something different. Let's move on to the movement. We're going to click on our movement video, and this is just an example of a child doing some movement. This is just a little sample of a movement exercise that might be presented to your child. Let us go to our finger knitting lesson. We're going to click on the video and you can see an example of our teacher giving a beautiful finger knitting lesson to a kindergarten child. I'm going to stop it here. I think you get the idea of what the lesson would be like. It's very appealing for a child to be able to watch this lesson and see their teacher tell the story. Now, you could choose to tell the story to your child, or you could let the teacher tell the story. We really are hoping that there will be very heavy parent involvement in the lower grades, the K2, 3, the K2, 3rd grade classes. So let's move on over here to our painting. We have two different areas. This is the painting preview, where you'll see a list of what you're going to need to be able to complete the activity: watercolor paper, watercolor paint, water, paintbrush, sponge, cloth, paper towel. And then you'll have a little preview of the lesson. You might have seen this on our social media, but we did this little fun lesson at 20 times the speed so that the child can know the lesson and kind of have an idea of the finished product that they're looking for. Full-length, normal speed video so that they can follow. It's always nice to be able to I'm going to stop it again. We're going to hit the back button. And we're going to the full lesson so you can take a look at what that's like. I'm going to close out of here. Let's open the full painting lesson. Now here we have a note from the teacher. The teacher says, once you've completed the full painting lesson, please upload a picture of your painting for the teacher. This is where we would upload the homework. I'm going to show you how to do that in just 1 second. So let's take a look at the full painting lesson. This is the exact same lesson that you had in the preview, except it is at a slower speed. The teacher will walk the child step by step through the painting. Once again, we're hoping that the mother or the father, the parent, or the caretaker will bring this lesson to the child. But we are aware that some of the children will be watching the lessons, therefore the lessons are appropriate for parent and child. But we are hoping for very heavy parent involvement. We're going to dip our brush in our water. And we're going to go dip in our wipe his feet. We're going to start by painting nice blue wash all over the page. Move a little further so you can get an idea a little further on of what's expected. Right, here we go. I'm going to put some water on my paper. Put some water in the shape of a cloud. Just add that water. Don't worry about it for now. Now I'm going to dry my brush. And I'm going to lift the pigment. So now I'm lifting the pigment. And I'm lifting the pigment. You see what's happening? So like I said, the teacher's going to walk your child through the entire lesson, and hopefully you will be able to bring this lesson to your child. Now here's where we would upload the homework assignment. So the child would title their homework. So I'm going to title it Ulrich Blue. And then I'm going to choose a file. I've taken a picture of my child's painting on my phone, and I'm going to double click, upload it. It's right here, and I'm going to click upload. I could also tag in a little note for my teacher. I could just say something like this. Was fun. I really enjoyed lifting. Now this note is being sent to the teacher along with the homework. So let's click upload. Now the picture of the painting is getting uploaded into our system. The page will automatically refresh, and now your child's homework is in the system. You can click on it, see it. And when the teacher receives it, you're going to get some teacher feedback right here. So let's go down and see a past assignment that already has some homework submitted. This botany main lesson right here. Please upload a picture of your main lesson book from today's lesson. So we have already uploaded a lesson in here for you to look at. Here's the lesson. Here's the main lesson picture that the child uploaded. Now the child also left a comment for the teacher. This assignment was challenging, but I took my time with the writing like you suggested last week, and I'm very pleased with the finished result. Now, the teacher has already received it and graded it and left feedback. And the feedback said, beautiful attention to detail. Your penmanship has improved greatly this month. Keep up the great work, Hannah. You'll also notice we have a grades section. You can click on the grades and see your child's grade. You can also click on View Grade Report, and it will generate a report card for you for that class. Whenever you need one, it will be right there at your fingertips. We hope you've enjoyed this quick tour of our student portal, and I hope to see you in the virtual classroom very soon.
Now, I wanted to say that we are aware that most of our classes, our younger kids, would not be graded, but it is in our system for those older grades that will want grades for transcripts later on.
Oh, thank you for all the questions that you've been sending in. Apparently I was talking and the computer didn't hear me. Okay, let's see. The sharing was paused. And your shared window to the front. Okay, sorry, I'm trying to figure out what's going on my computer. Where did they all go? Hold on, let me see if I can find my screen share here. Sorry about that. Share. It's still funny. This is the lovely part about live things that there we go. No. Sorry guys, it was here and now it went away. Chrome.
I see a question about some live Zooms. Maybe I can address that.
Yes, go ahead and do that while I'm hunting for my.
So yes, we did not do a section on the portal on the live section because of course that will be live, so we don't have any pre-recorded, but there will be times, several times per week. So for the younger children, it'll be 1 to 2 times per week, and as they get older, it will shift and have longer, more interaction, more live interactions over Zoom. And you will also get a weekly Zoom live parent-teacher office hours where you can pop in and ask your teachers questions. The teachers can explain assignments. So there'll be at least 2 times per week where one or 2 times per week the children will interact with their classmates and their teacher, and then a separate time per week where the parents will come in and talk to the teachers.
Yeah. Okay, I got it now. Okay, so these are our class offerings. So we will have kindergarten 1 for age 5, kindergarten 2 for age 6. We will have classes for grades 1 through 6. And then we also will have a mathematics only track with Jamie York for grades 5 and up. Our enrichment offerings, which are 12 weeks in length. Right now we have handwork, movement, music, German, Spanish, French, ASL, and we also have an early childhood group that will also last 12 weeks. And that's for ages, if you've got really young children, 2 to 4. And then these are the main lesson block offerings, the way we have them right now. And we're hiring all of our teachers. So these are the main lesson block offerings that we're looking for. Now, don't try to cram it and screenshot or anything like that. When we're done, we will send you the replay of this video, and we'll also send you the slides so that you have an opportunity to look at all of the slides at your leisure. So you can see that we are planning to offer something all the way through grade 12. So what's the cost? First, I want you to know that we are paying our teachers a living wage. That was super important to us. That was our highest priority. Our teachers receive 80% of the tuition that we collect, and we do not offer discounts because of this. We've had a lot of people say, but family discounts in the school, we just can't do that in this situation because we pay so much of it to our teachers. So here are the prices. Registration and tuition per student. Full class kindergarten is $200 registration plus $900 a year tuition. Full class grades 1 through 6, $200 registration, $1,800 a year tuition. Now, if you're gasping, I want you to remember how much a Waldorf school tuition costs. We are doing the best that we can to bring something absolutely amazing at a price that can be more affordable. We will also have Jamie York's program that's about 32 weeks long, and that price will be to be determined. We're still working out the contract with him. So we'll have enrichment classes that will be $50 registration, $240 tuition per class per student, and then main lesson blocks, $25 registration, and then $35 per week. So the reason we don't have a set price there is some main lesson blocks will be 4 weeks, some of them will be 6, some of them will be 8. So the government, this is something really important. We've had this question a lot. Are we an accredited school? We are not an accredited school. Remember, we started this project 6 weeks ago, and accreditation is something that generally takes a year or more to do. So as of right now, and perhaps in the future, we're working on that. Remember that you are legally a homeschooler. So you must follow your government guidelines for homeschooling. Seasons of 7 Virtual School will not file for the government or with the government on your behalf, but our teachers and staff will help you understand how to meet your government requirements. So you bring us those requirements and say, how do we meet this? And we will absolutely help you do that. So how can you help? We have a lot of people say, how can we help? Really, the best thing you could do is spread the word for us. We have some gigantic goals, and we know that we're talking to students every day, parents every day, who are really looking for options. So if you know families that need this work, please share our page with them. And now we have the Q&A, and then after, you'll want to stay after because Miss Melanie will go through and talk about how to get started and go through our process with regards to applying and signing up. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen, and I guess we'll start the question. All right. Somebody asked, I'm not in San Diego anymore. No, I'm not. I used to be. I'm in Arizona. Thank you. Lisa says, have your teachers done Waldorf teacher training? Do they have classroom experience? So when we opened up for teachers, we are accepting teachers that are Waldorf trained. We are, and because remember, in the beginning, what we started with was we had teachers that were furloughed, that didn't have jobs anymore, that were really looking for, how do I support my family? How do I share what I know? And so we started with that model, and then we've also opened it up to homeschoolers that are seasoned homeschoolers that know what they're doing, that also have things that they want to teach and share. So the homeschoolers may have classroom experience in a co-op, or maybe they've taught in a classroom setting. The teachers definitely have classroom experience. Claire says, are the syllabus follow more or less the same path with Waldorf Essentials? You know what? I'm not in charge of that part. Each teacher is in charge of their own classroom. I'm not micromanaging that. Y'all, I have 5 children. I don't need to think about micromanaging teachers. So it will follow Waldorf standards and the Waldorf curriculum. We will be, as directors, we will be approving all content before it goes to you. So that portion that's pre-recorded will be approving their syllabus and things like that. And we will be dropping in on their Zoom calls with families here and there as well, so that we can make sure that we maintain the standards that we have. For those of you who know Waldorf Essentials and have worked with us, you know that we have high standards. So we will be requiring that people meet those standards. And I'm sorry about the sound. When we did this the first time, we had no problems with sound. So of course it always happens on the live. Let's see. What kind of involvement for older children ages 9 and 13? So our plan is for the younger grades, and please jump in, Nicole and Melanie, if I'm hogging all the questions, sorry. Our plan for the younger grades is that they will, the teacher and the mom will have a lot of contact. Yes, like Melanie said, the videos are to be acceptable for children. So they're teaching to the children. They are not necessarily teaching to the mom. But we would really like there to be much more parent interaction for the 9 and under set. So for grades 4 and up, so 10 and up, that's when they are doing this shift and they are working student to teacher more. So yes, mom still has to be involved. Mom's going to be making sure that the assignments get turned in and that the work gets done, but it will be more student and teacher in those regards. Mom will still be still have office hours available to her to go, or dad, of course, to go to meet the teacher every week so that they can ask questions. They're having struggles with the child at home or struggles with the assignments, then the teacher will be available for that. Let's see. Can older children who have little Waldorf experience join? It would depend on the ages of the children. So we're only doing full classes through class 6. So that would be the 12-year-olds. So then class 7 starts main lessons only and enrichment only. So if you have a child that needs some of those enrichment blocks and you're coming to Waldorf, absolutely, that should work. If you have a younger child that's coming to Waldorf, say from public school setting, excuse me, yes, that should not be a problem. You just might need to have a chat with us to make sure that we get you properly placed. Often public school standards and public school placement are different than Waldorf placement. So there may be some questions for that. Do you have sample videos for the older grades as well? We don't have any right now. We should have some very soon. When it comes to the older grades, keep in mind it's the same scenario. So the teachers will be pre-recording their lessons, and then they will have more opportunities to interact with the students. So where grades 1 through 3 would have 1, maybe 2 Zooms at most per week, grades 4 through 6 and those main lesson classes, they might have 2 or 3 per week where they might need more interacting. There may also be opportunities for in fact, we're hoping for opportunities where the children break out into smaller groups so that the children have the opportunity to work together. Let's see.
Can I chime in real quick?
Absolutely, please.
So
do.
the video that we showed, I know it was hard to hear the audio. We will make sure that we add that in to the replay so that you can get the full experience of that beautiful video.
Yes, absolutely, because Melanie did such a good job on that video. So we want to make sure you get all of it for sure. So Jacqueline says, is this more of an online class than an in-person online class? Will there be interactive parts? So yes, like Melanie already answered that. It will be both. It's both. In every sense of the word, it is a hybrid. It is not a go at your own pace. The teacher will be making sure that students are at those Zooms, making sure that the assignments are turned in, all of those things. So if you are considering signing up for either full year track or for a main lesson block, please know that you will be required to turn in work. This is not just a, oh, I'll buy it and then I'll take it later. It is a set period of time. So you'll want to make sure that you are available for that set period of time.
Actually, this is a good time to mention that the past assignments are visible for 30 days and then they will disappear.
Yes, agreed. So, and that's really to respect the teachers and the work that they've put into it, that it's not available to you year after year. So it is available to you for a short period of time, and then the next assignments will be there. What we want to discourage is, oh, well, I'm just going to go on vacation for 2 months and I'll catch up when I come back. Instead, we'd rather you log in while you're on vacation and still do the work, or communicate with your teacher that you're going to be gone.
I was just going to say that doesn't mean that the teacher won't be able to work with you if you do go on vacation.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. We are homeschoolers at heart. We know what it's like to want our freedoms and want to homeschool. So we'll definitely work with you. But
Absolutely. And as soon as we get the opportunity to move about the world, I know a lot of people will be. So yes. Okay. So let's see. This one says, could be a dad. Forgive me. I'm concerned about social involvement for my olders. Is there a class, or are they in a class with other children live and creating connection with a teacher, not just videos? Yes, both. So again, it's a hybrid situation. So you are, you'll have videos content that they will download, lessons that they will download, but then there is that live component with the teacher and with other students there as well. The classes are small, so there are 20 students per class. And once that class fills, then we'll talk about opening another class, but space is limited for sure. So we want to build a global community with the Seasons of 7 virtual school, but we also want to build a smaller community with the students and the teacher, and giving those opportunities for students to then interact. We are working with Jamie York. I don't know, those of you who know him, he's Jamie York Press. He's written the Making Math Meaningful books. And he has a program where he has children breaking out into groups of 2 or 3 every week. And so that is our model for the older children for sure, that we'd like there to be an opportunity for them to create some good social involvement.
I also wanted to mention that one of the reasons why we decided to have these short pre-recorded videos was because it is a worldwide school, and we are working with several different time zones, Northern Hemisphere, Southern Hemisphere, and it becomes very, very difficult to have live Zooms at the right time for everybody. Now, we will have some, but we also wanted to give families freedom to not have to do their work every day at 6 p.m. So this way you can do the snippets that you want to do, you can do them in the order that you want to do them, and it gives you the freedom while still having that connection and that sense of community that we want to build.
Right. And truly what we're looking for too is the teachers will drop their assignments for the coming week, probably either somewhere between Thursday and Sunday. So you'll have the whole week's assignments there in one space so that you can then, make a plan and decide how your week's going to go. Jacqueline says, does this include extra classes? I'm not sure what you mean by that. Are you talking about handwork and music and those things? So in classes 1 through 6, yes, there will be some, but it will not be full on handwork. So we are asking the teachers to, which you have to keep in mind, homeschoolers, we already know this is what we do. We do the whole thing, kit and caboodle, all of it. We do music, we do handwork, we do all of it. These teachers are not used to doing that because they had an art teacher to send them to, a handwork teacher to send them to, a games teacher to send them to. So they are expected to have projects to recommend throughout the year. Yes. So when it comes to music, it will be just singing likely, unless you have a teacher that is really excited about the recorder. So that's one reason why we have separate enrichment classes as well. How many classmates will be interacting at once? Our class limit size is 20 for that. Now the office hours that are for the parents only will probably include all of the families that teacher might be working with. How much classwork will there be for the kinder in one day? The kinder is muy pequeño, very small. So this is not taking the Waldorf method and making it a public school method at all. We are talking about, for kinder, we're talking about having you, as the mom, you're taking in maybe the songs and you're learning about what appropriate things there might be to do. You might sit with your child to watch one of the videos, or you might not. We are completely encouraging this to be about mom, especially in those younger years, since we are very much aware that we need to have very careful reins on the media. Somebody left me a personal question here, but I'm going to go ahead and read it. My kids are older, grades 3 and 5. They are both on the younger side of grade placement. The Waldorf school we started at in September had a September cutoff, so they were both in the youngest of their class. I wish they wouldn't do that. Most Waldorf schools would have placed them a grade lower. Will this be an issue in your school? Your children will be properly placed in our school. So you might want to drop us a note if you're considering. We don't want them to have to redo a bunch of material, but if they are not properly placed, then they're going to have struggles later. So drop us a note and we will talk to you about placement. Maybe we can hop on a Zoom with you and your partner and talk about that. Will children be interacting with each other in any way? Yes. How many hours a day would we be looking at work for the lessons for first and second grade? If you are already homeschooling, it should not be any more than what you're already doing. This should not add a bunch of weight to your plate. This instead is just taking out that teaching portion that you would normally do. So you saw in Melanie's example, there are circle time videos, there would be a movement video, and then the lesson video. And so that lesson video would be your lesson for the day, and that circle would take you through the whole week or sometimes the whole month or season. So it is definitely up to your discretion, but I would imagine that you're going to be done by lunch. Do you background check your teachers? Yes, we're actually working with that right now. There will be no teacher that we will accept worldwide that does not have a background check. I don't care. Even Miss Melanie, who's our third grade teacher, she's doing the background check. So all of our teachers will be background checked. And again, we will be popping our heads into Zooms randomly. So our teachers will be peer reviewed by one another. So they will also be, working with like, hey, I want to go check out Susie Q, who's teaching physics class today, and then give her, a review kind of thing. So we want teachers to be peer reviewing one another for quality and for standards. And we will be doing the same. Let's see, this mom says, not sure exactly how to ask, but my state requires homeschoolers to teach 7 subjects at my child's grade level. How can I check to see if the curriculum will touch on all of these? Let's see, this is Miss Rebecca Hedgepath. Would you unmute yourself and tell me where you live?
Sure, I live in Maine.
Okay, we have lots of moms, homeschooling moms in Maine. So there are many ways to do one thing. Many, many, many ways. So in Waldorf, I'm just going to tell you, this is what I would tell any homeschooler. In Waldorf, when you're doing a literature lesson, you're doing reading, and then you're going to do art from that lesson. And then the next day, you're going to do writing from that lesson and more reading. And so you're bringing it all in, and often the literature is history based. So all of those pieces get covered. All of those pieces get covered. Does that make sense? Okay. Thank you for unmuting. Is Greek mythology and Greek history, is it Greek mythology and history, or is it just clarifying? So for 5th grade, it's Greek mythology, and Greek mythology ends in Greek history. That prepares them for 6th grade, which is Roman history. One has to flow into the other. Let's see. My daughter just finished grade 4 at a Waldorf school, but is turning 10 tomorrow. Ugh. Would you place her in 4 or 5? I think you should message us.
Sorry.
It's just, when I work with homeschoolers, I come across this a lot, and truly, schools want your enrollment, so they will put you where you want to be, and we will put you where your child needs to be. We want your child to be in the correct place, but let's talk about that for sure. Is there any way to consult with you individually to see if this is a fit for our family? You are welcome to drop us an email, seasonsof7virtualschool@gmail.com. Are the enrichment classes mixed ages? It seems like it would be challenging across a wider range of ages. We are intending that, like, handwork 1 is learning to knit, and that it should be mostly 1st graders. That's our intent, because it will go through the curriculum, the handwork curriculum, in order. So we'll start with knitting and then purling and then crochet, but not all in 12 weeks. So, in 12 weeks, you might make knitting needles, dye your own yarn, and then learn to cast on, all of those things. So that will take out that space and that time. And there's a possibility for there to be some mixed ages, but generally they should be all the same age or close to it. Will the in-person schedule and exact times be announced soon? As soon as we get all of our teachers finalized and all of their background checks in, then they will be allowed to choose what time slots they want for their Zoom calls, and then we will be able to release those. How much preparation is required from mom? Will the planning for piece preparation be useful? That will not be useful, because you're not, I am not dictating what the teachers are teaching. They just know that they are teaching Waldorf. So my lessons should be about the same, but these teachers that have been in schools teaching for years and years, they have their own flair and their own way of doing things, and I'm not going to stand in the way of that. So as far as planning for piece preparation, I would not do that if you're planning to jump on board with this. If, however, you are not, then absolutely you need to be doing planning for piece. As far as how much preparation is required from you, you will get the lessons for the coming week. We're going to probably require them be done by Friday of the previous week, so you have the weekend to do any prep. But again, it's the teacher communicating with the child in most cases, so your preparation will just be to make sure that your child is there and able to do the work. How many children will be in each class? 20. Is tuition due up front, or are there payments? So we've broken it up into 4 payments. So the first one is due immediately, and we're invoicing for that. And then there will be one due a month for the next 3 months.
I just wanted to clarify that the payment plan is only for the full year class.
Right.
Blocks and enrichments are due in full.
Yes, thank you. I would have totally missed that. Will the children change teacher each year, or do the teachers move through the grades with the children? Well, it's our hope that we'll have some cycling teachers, absolutely, that they will go on. We have the teacher that will likely teach kindergarten 5 has expressed interest in going all the way through. Do you have advanced placement? My friend has a 7th grader but is doing 8th grade math. Are there computer science options? There are not computer science options. We are sticking with the Waldorf curriculum. There are not computer science options. And with regards to mathematics, that would probably be a question with, we'd have to have Jamie in on that. So why don't you drop us a message and we can talk about that. It would be a conversation with Jamie York. Just clarifying the difference between the full program and the main lesson blocks only option. So the full program is one teacher that teaches all of the subjects for grades 1 through 6. Like Miss Melanie is a 3rd grade teacher. She will teach everything for 3rd grade for 36 weeks. The main lesson block teachers will teach for 4 to sometimes 8 weeks, depending on the subject, and they will only teach that subject. They will not be teaching anything else. Will there be an option to know more about a particular grade's teacher before registering? There is not yet, but we will have, our College of Teachers is still forming, so we will have that. Although I will tell you, I don't think I would wait. If you are sure you want this option, then you should jump on board because space is limited. For grade 7 specifically, if we registered for blocks without the year, would everything be covered? No. So grade 7 specifically, if you want physics, you register for grade 7 physics. So we will not be offering all of the grade 7 things will not be available at once. There will be one per, we'll stagger them out because you only want your child to take one class at a time. So it would be crazy if we did like physics and explorers and anatomy and physiology all at the beginning, because you would then really have to struggle about what to choose. So we will instead be staggering them. Hopefully that answers your question. If not, please ask again.
Melissa, I'm
yes.
wondering if, because I read the question a little bit differently.
How did you read it?
I read it as if they, throughout the whole year, take all the grade 7 blocks.
Oh, well, they have them all covered. Oh, hold on, I'm looking at the grade 7 list.
So I think you put some enrichment in there.
If you put some enrichment in there, perhaps. And
the math.
And the math. Yeah, I think so. I'm just trying to think if I missed something. I just taught grade 7, so.
Well, and we are working on building it up. This is our first year, so we have to see how it goes, but eventually we would like to be able to offer as much as we can.
Absolutely. In kinder, do we do enrichment classes as well, or just the main class? Just the main class. You don't, enrichment starts at 7 or grade 1. Let's see. Sorry, I'm reading a private question. I'm trying to decide if I should read that one. Miss Alicia, will you just message me privately after we're done? Okay. Will the language classes be mostly done in video? The foreign language classes, it will be the same format. So there should be an opportunity. We are looking for native speakers where possible. So there should be an opportunity for the teachers then to sit and listen to the students speak and have some interaction with them that way. It will not just be done on video. Will there be a materials list and a cost estimate for materials? There will absolutely be a materials list. We are working with Pamela at meadowsweetnaturals.com. She is a Waldorf supplier, and she'll do the best she can to work with all of our materials. So is it registration plus 1 quarter due now? Yes. By first payment, do you mean the registration plus 1/4 of the tuition cost, or registration? Yes. Registration plus first payment of tuition is due when you register. Let's see here. So I had a question here that was sent to me privately, but I'm going to go ahead and read it since it's not like scary or anything. A group of mothers in our public Waldorf charter are trying to stay together in the school, doing only what is required by the state, but wanting to get together in small groups for some in-person classes. Would you recommend enrichment classes or exactly for this? So you absolutely could. You could gather together as a cooperative 1 day a week and take enrichment classes on the other days, and then gather together as a cooperative 1 day a week for sure. For sure, that would be a great way. How do we set up a grade 7 schedule? So understanding the way Waldorf works, especially for the upper grades, is you want to make sure you cover all of those main lesson blocks, and we can absolutely help you with that in setting those up. So, there may be some that you need to cover as we're filling out teachers, but I think we'll have most of them filled for sure. That's our desire.
Yes, and we're going to stagger them so that you'd have to do math all the way through, and then we would stagger your blocks with enough space in between so that they're not all laying one on top of each other, and you have math and probably one other block and maybe an enrichment all the way through your year.
Right. And, you know, if you're coming from another school system and you're not really familiar with Waldorf, you're thinking, why is there only one block? Why wouldn't you take all the subjects at once? Because there will be enough depth in that one block that they will not want to do anything else, I promise. That is the whole point. In Waldorf, we teach by block. We do not teach all 7 subjects at one time. We go one at a time. And what it allows is it allows you to go deep in writing. It allows you to go deep in reading. It allows you to really and truly understand history. And then we let it go to sleep. And then we bring it back in another block. So it really allows for the child to get the depth that they need for the classes. We still don't know if physical schools can be open in the fall in our state. Can we register for the program? And then if my kinder student is in a class, pause the program until the, and then come back. I would pay for the program either way, just wondering if we can come back if the school closes because of a spike. You know, as long as your tuition is paid, whatever you work out with the teacher is probably okay, unless, what would you say about that, Melanie?
I would say that, like you said, if you have good communication with your teacher, you could probably work something out. We do have to pay for that spot because that is how we pay our teachers. And the other thing I want to point out is you might not be able to recoup everything that you missed during the time that you took your sabbatical, but you would probably be able to jump back in, and the teacher would probably be able to catch you up and throw some of those assignments privately your way. But as long as you have good communication, I think that that it could be worked out.
Yeah. Will the blocks be in the same order? We are straddling 2 grades, April birthday, but Northern Hemisphere. You know, we're not sure. We're not sure yet. I can't give you a definite answer on that, only because we are supposing, or we're hoping that we will have not the same teacher that's teaching the fall to spring block that's teaching the January to December block, although they might be. Melanie and I have discussed that. If she has to take the January classes, she can do that. It's not such a big deal. So that's a wait and see situation. I can't totally answer that one yet. Sorry. Do we choose foreign language for 6th grade, or will it be assigned? You will want to choose a foreign language. If you want to have foreign language, I'm not expecting the teachers to handle that. I'm expecting them to handle everything else, but I'm not expecting them to handle foreign language. Will the subject blocks be relevant to the class topics? Not sure what that means. Miss Rachel, do you want to answer? Tell me what you mean by that. Rachel Gold. Since we have several Rachels here. I'm not sure where you are, Miss Rachel. There you are. Do you want to answer? I will answer based on what I understand your question to be. Will the subject blocks be relevant to the class topics? Yes, they will follow Waldorf, the Waldorf blocks that they would teach in a regular Waldorf school and that we would do at home. Will you be a vendor for a public homeschool charter in California, or is this only open to private funds? We are going to try. We're going to try to be a vendor. I know that your laws are changing. Might have been one reason why I left. Your laws are changing, and I am not sure what that's going to look like in the fall. I will absolutely take some time to chat with somebody from Inspire, and Inspire specifically because they're the biggest charter in California. So what I will do is talk to them and see what we need to do to see if it can be. Waldorf Essentials is already an Inspire vendor. So it would just be to make sure that they're okay with this online class option. Okay, I got through all the questions. Does anybody else have any questions before we finish up here? And then we can let Miss Melanie a couple more. Yes, okay, so it looks like Rachel, you and I have the same idea. So yes, that's exactly what it is. They will follow the, so our teachers are from all over the world. So they may not follow exactly what they teach in North America, Waldorf schools. I'm just going to let you know, because we have some teachers from South Africa and probably some teachers from Australia or New Zealand. So we are, they will follow the Waldorf curriculum. And by that, I mean what is set forth by Rudolf Steiner, not necessarily what is set forth by the Association of Waldorf Schools of North America. We want them to, we want to give them that freedom. Now, there will be considerations, of course. Grade 8 history is all about American history. Well, that is not relevant to you if you live in Great Britain. Parts of it are, but not all of it. So we will definitely be staging the classes and making sure that the teachers that are taking those classes know their audience. On the full year course for grade 6, foreign language is included in the list. Is this part of the tuition or is it separate? So foreign language in all cases is going to be an enrichment class in all cases. Will your classes start in January and be taught by the same teacher as the fall classes? Again, I'm not 100% sure. I think I thought I had that one. Okay. When will the schedule or time zone details be listed? I am wary to commit to 36 weeks without knowing what time our teacher would expect us to meet ×2 since I have 2 children. Absolutely understandable. I can let you know that right now our schedule is what we have allowed is from 4 a.m. to 9 p.m. Pacific time. So that leaves it wide open. We wanted there to be an option, like for the teacher to say, oh, most of my children are in the Southern Hemisphere. I better make sure that I plan accordingly. Or most of my children are in, Eastern time zone, that kind of thing. So that's just for that live portion. So that live portion will be recorded. So should you have to miss it for 1 week, it's not a big deal. You'll still be able to watch the recording of that. Okay. Can you please share your contact info? Absolutely. It is Seasons of 7 Virtual School at gmail.com. I'm going to write it here. Okay. Does anybody else have any questions? Class is open to any public school students enrolled as 100% distance. We have a friend who is interested but not ready to commit to homeschool. Why don't you send me your friend? I'll have a conversation with her. Our classes are open to everyone. But what we want is for people to understand that once you pay, you're paying for that class. If you do not attend, there will be no refunds given. If you do not attend or you choose not to attend, that is between you and your accountant, not between you and the school. So we want you to only sign up if you are ready and willing to take this on, because it will be expected. Once we've collected tuition, unless for some insane reason Seasons of 7 does not open its doors, which I cannot even imagine, their tuition will be non-refundable. So we just want to make sure that that is, because we're paying our teachers. I mean, again, that's our first desire was to pay our teachers, and our teachers, they need to be paid. So. Okay, any other questions? When will the enrichment classes be open? Maybe by the end of the week? I don't know. We're hoping. Either by the end of the week or by next week. We're having more and more teachers step forward right now. So we're very excited about it. We will open classes when we have a teacher tentative and then confirm them once their background check comes in. But nobody will be released to teach until we have a background check. So just affirming that. Okay, I think that's all. I think we'll go ahead and be done. And if you have any questions, again, feel like you can absolutely message us.
Me too.
What grades will Jamie Work Math be? 5th grade and up. Will it be different than what is offered through his page? No, it will just be under our umbrella. So anyways, all right. I hope you guys are having a wonderful day.
Do you want me to walk them through registration?
Oh, wait. Oh my gosh. Yes. I'm so sorry. I about ended the call. Yes, please.
Okay. I think I'm going to do a live one since they couldn't hear the video very well.
Okay.
How do you feel about that?
Yeah, I think that's great.
Okay, so I'm going to
How do you feel about that, Melanie?
Well, I'm going to
You're the
do
one
it.
on the hot seat, girl.
All right, so here we go. Let me share this with you. So the first thing I wanted to show you was how to apply. Some of you have already applied to the school and some of you have not. So when you go to seasonsofsevenvirtualschool.com, this is the public homepage that you'll see. If you go up here to join and click on join, this is the application. It's $25 non-refundable application, one per family, and you need to apply and be approved before you can register. So just fill that out, send it to us, and we're trying to do 24 to 48 hour turnaround, but we do have a lot of applications to go through. So bear with us. I'm gonna go back to our homepage. Okay, so once you have applied and you got your approval and you're in, you may now log in with the username and password that you chose upon applying. And now you're in our member homepage. It looks very similar to the public one, but it's slightly different. So let me show you how you would go and register your child for the class. You're going to go to class registration over here and click on class registration. And you're going to find the class that you're interested in. Now, if the classes are in green, that means they're open and they're ready to, they're open for registration. If they're in gray, it means that they're closed or opening soon, or it is possible that the class is already full. So once you find the class that you want to go into, you're going to click on it, and your child's name is going to be here. Now, if you notice, I cannot click on my child and put him in kindergarten. And the reason for that is because he's 9, and our system will not allow him to go into kindergarten. So I have to find the class that he is allowed to go into. You're going to see some information about the class. And the first thing you'll see is once you click register, you will be immediately registered for the class. Now, it happens instantly. There is no checkout, and it happens just like that. So we want to make sure that you are sure that that's the class that you want to be in. If you have any questions about placement, or you're having difficulty, or you feel like you should be able to click on this box and it's not letting you, please send us an email. We want to help you. We are here for you. This here discusses our payments that we mentioned, and then you'll have a little blurb about the class and what will be covered in your class. Now, this is probably going to change once we have your teacher's background check and they can tweak their own syllabus. Over here, you're going to see how many spots are available for the class. Right now, you see we already only have 17 spots left in this class. So I'm going to click on my child, Ulrich, to put him in this class, and I'm going to click register. Now, as soon as I click register, he's in the class and the tuition is non-refundable. So here we go. Boom, done. So he's in the class. So we're going to go up, and I'm going to refresh this page for you. And you'll see my balance is now $2,000. And here are my invoices. So the one in red means that it's due immediately, and the black ones are your payments, and they will turn red once it comes time to pay these invoices. So let me stop sharing my screen and see if anyone has any questions. Yes, the calendar on the site is live. Let me see if I can open it back up for you. Sorry, let me share my screen again, which I can't for some reason. Okay, that didn't work. Yes, so the calendar is live, and the start date is August 24th. So let me go to the calendar. Here is our our school calendar. It's not completely up, but as you can see, the registration started on July 1st. That's why some of those slots are already taken. Here's the first day of school, which is August 24th, and here is our welcome week, which we are so excited about. We have some really, really, really special things planned for you during welcome week. If you want to plan some family vacations, you can look to see where we have scheduled some off time as well.
There's a question here that's a really good question. I was going to answer it really quick.
Oh, go ahead.
My question is for grade 1, the tuition is $2,000 plus a fee for the main lesson blocks? No. So that class fee includes everything for that class. So that teacher will teach your main lesson blocks. That is, you do not have separate main lesson blocks. We only wanted main lesson blocks for the grade 7 and up because they do not have a class teacher. The class teachers will end in our school at grade 6. Okay. Tuition is for a full year or a semester. The tuition is for the full year. Okay, did we catch everything?
There is one question. It says, if we apply and you are full, is the fee refundable? So I'm thinking they're talking about the application fee, because you will not be able to register and be charged registration fee or tuition if our class is full. So I'm thinking you're asking about that application fee.
Yeah, I didn't see that one. So
I,
the application fee is non-refundable. I highly doubt. Well, here's what I'll say. If you're planning to apply in the next 2 or 3 weeks, you should be good. If you're going to wait until August 15th, you better message us.
Yeah, we're going to have such a huge rush in August when everyone realizes what school is actually going to be like.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, she says yes, the application fee. If you're wondering, feel free to drop us a note. It's always better to ask than to assume. For sure. And she said, somebody else says, and if the blocks I need are full, then we will have other blocks opening up. So you may have an opportunity to need to teach your child. And if that's the case, you're always welcome to come to the Waldorf Essential side of things, where that's what we do. We teach homeschoolers or people that are coming to homeschool how to homeschool. So, yeah. So tell me, Jamie says it's tricky making these decisions with little info, chicken and egg situation for me. So tell me what you'd like to know more of, because we want to definitely answer those questions for you.
Well, I have
Go ahead.
I have a 7th grader,
Okay.
and we did Waldorf from pre-K through 3rd grade, and then our Waldorf cooperative dissolved, and then we had to absorb into another situation, and now we're looking at coming back, and it just sounds like we don't really know what's going to be available. We don't really know who the teachers are, and it's just such a huge moment in our life and a big transition, and I'm so excited to welcome Waldorf back. I totally get it, but it sounds like there's just a lot of things that we don't understand right now about what blocks are going to be there, what enrichment classes, who the teachers are. There's just a lot of big question marks. And so, yeah, I'd love to register, but I don't feel like I have enough information to move forward.
So you wouldn't actually have an opening for grade 7 blocks right now anyways, because they're still closed. They're closed until we have the teachers in those spots. So we're hoping to have teachers in those spots in the next week or so. Then they'll be open. We're not going to open them until we actually have teachers in those spots. So,
okay.
But with regards to that, if you're bringing your 7th grader home, you might consider Waldorf Essentials if you're not, if you're planning to homeschool. So, but for sure, what we're looking for is a rotation. And
wait, what is Waldorf Essentials? What is that?
So that's the parent company. That's the company that I own. I'm a homeschool curriculum writer, and I've been helping families for 15 years homeschool with our curriculum. It's a Waldorf curriculum. So that's the parent company for Seasons of 7 virtual school. So you might, drop us a note. We're happy to help you there. But also know that what we're planning to do is have a rotation so that, maybe physics will be first, and then explorers and history will be second, and then anatomy and physiology will be third. They will not all be at once. So
Right.
There'll be rotations of them.
And
So
the reason that those blocks are closed is because we don't have all the information, and we don't feel comfortable taking people's tuition payment until we have more information.
Right.
Okay.
So as soon as we have more information, we will let you know, and that is when we will open the blocks for registration.
Right.
Okay. Thank you.
Also, we have a pool of teachers. We just need to
Yes.
place them in the right areas.
We have a nice pool of teachers. So we're very excited about ones that we have that we've already cultivated. And some of them are master teachers that have been around the block several times. And some of them are homeschooling moms that have taught, have taught several children. Like, we are very excited with who has applied. Very, very excited. You will not be disappointed. Other questions we have here. Can you talk about the difference between a family that would choose Seasons of 7 versus a family that would choose Waldorf Essentials? Waldorf Essentials is for homeschoolers. So if you are choosing to homeschool only and you want to be in charge of everything and you want to be the one that's doing the planning, that's a choice. That's when you would choose Waldorf Essentials. If, on the other hand, you want a teacher that's doing that and you don't want to plan those lessons, that's when you would choose Seasons of 7. Also, if you are a homeschooler and you're having a baby next month, you don't know that you're going to have your shiznit together between now and September 1st, you might decide that maybe you want to check off math and you don't want to think about it, or you don't want to have to think about botany for the year. You might use it in that respect for, just one main lesson block. I'm going to tell you right now, my kids are going to be in music because I would like to take that off my plate. And my 14-year-old will be in Jamie York's math because I'd like to take that off my plate. So as a homeschooler, you can absolutely mix and match with regards to those blocks. You can do all of those, or you can just do one. How many months is the tuition payment plan for? All tuition must be paid by, right now we have it at October. Mom says, I'm a worn out homeschooler. I totally understand. Listen, I have 5 children. I understand. Sometimes we need a break. Okay. All right. And Miss Laura, please drop us a note. We might have some thoughts on that one. Okay. Will a second language be considered an enrichment class for grade 1? Yes.
I also see a few questions on placement. We probably don't have
Did I miss them?
for everybody's placement, but one says, last question for me. If my son is going into grade 5 and is 10, would he have to do the grade 4 blocks?
Your son will not go into grade 5 at 10 unless he is going to be 11 sometime between now and March. So that should hopefully answer your question. So grade 4 is for the 10-year-old, grade 5 is for the 11-year-old, grade 6 is for the 12-year-old in general. Did I miss any others?
And we have to remember that Waldorf placement is not public school placement. It's not traditional school placement. Grade 4 doesn't mean grade 4. It means the curriculum for the 10-year-old child.
Mm-hmm. It does. And if you're new to Waldorf, you might be thinking, I don't know why that makes such a difference. Drop us a note. We'll help you learn. It is Waldorf education aims to bring age developmentally appropriate material at the right development time. So in just an example, in American schools, generally they teach American history for 3rd, 4th, and 5th grade. That's really silly because the child isn't ready till later. So we fill the child with other things during that time. We want, we sort of aim to make your children of this world and not worldly. So we really want to bring the beauty of learning to your children. Mom says, I'm worried about maintaining him on level with my state's requirements. I really think, truly, I've been at this for 15 years and I have worked with a lot of families that have struggles with their state, some or that think they do. And we also have very many seasoned moms in most of these states. One of the hardest states that people think is the hardest is New York to homeschool in. But we've worked with seasoned moms who are happy to step forward and help with regards to that. Many states require some sort of portfolio. While we won't do it for you, we will absolutely help you. Melanie, maybe you can talk to Florida's requirements, because I know Florida has different requirements.
Mm-hmm. So in Florida, you have to register as a homeschooler one time, not every year. So the first time you step out of the public or private school world, you have to register as a homeschooler. And then after that, once a year, you need to, you have two options. You can either do a test, standardized test, which most parents opt not to do. The second option is you can do a portfolio that then has to be looked at by a certified teacher in the state. Now the portfolio, what's great about Waldorf education is all your children's work is going to be done in these beautiful main lesson books where they have the opportunity to show progress from the beginning of the year to the end of the year in all subjects. And you'll also have a syllabus that will be a beautiful outline for what your child is going to do. Now, I have contacts for Florida for teachers that are available to do these portfolios evaluations. They can do them over Zoom, they can do them over email. If you're local, you can do them in person. They usually charge anywhere around $35, between $25 and $50, depending on how large the portfolio is going to be. And then you turn that into your state and you're done. What you have to prove is you have to prove progress from one year to the next. And that's Florida. And I know there's other states that have no criteria at all, like Oklahoma doesn't have anything. But then I also know some harder states where you have to go out and outline exactly what is what your child did per subject. But we can help you with that as well. We can be able to, in third grade, pull out, when we study the Hebrew cultures, that geography from that country. We can just help you with pulling out and how to document what your child studied, not change what your child studied, but how to write it down on paper that the state can say, oh yeah, they covered everything.
One of the things that I've done with Waldorf Essentials is I've been working with helping families meet the Common Core standards for a long time. So it's not as hard as one might think. It seems really scary at first, but once you actually know what they're actually asking for, they write it confusing on purpose. So, we absolutely help families sort of go down that road, and we're happy to help you. Last question here is, will there be any school-wide festivals? Goodness, we hope so. That's our desire is to absolutely have that. Okay, and one last question, actually they're coming in, is the syllabus online for each grade similar to others? Not sure on placement. Daughter has been in Waldorf between pre-K and third. Now she is entering into fourth. She just turned 9. I want to see what would be a repeat in the main lessons versus the difference to try to make sense to repeat. We don't want there to be repeats. We definitely don't. However, we want your child to be properly placed. So why don't you message us? Let's have a chat about that. We're doing Zoom chats with families that have those questions so that we can actually get a true understanding. Often what I've seen, not always, but what I've seen when families like that come home and they're consulting me with regards to homeschooling is there are many things missing from that school year. So if you've got your child's main lesson books, we'd like to hear about it when we have our meeting. So just so that we can see what exactly did they cover. So for sure, drop us a note and let's go ahead and make an appointment with that. Will the kids feel part of the school community class each week? Absolutely. That's our aim. Our aim is to have that space because they'll have community with other children there. And, keep in mind that the younger classes, young kids just don't do well on Zoom. They kind of know, they get it. They realize that this is not interaction. Older children do get it and they do appreciate that interaction. So I've seen both things and we're really working to help it be a wonderful experience for everybody.
I want to say the whole goal of the live Zooms is community, or else we would just do the pre-recorded lessons. It
Exactly.
would just be easier for everybody. So the whole point and the whole goal behind those live sessions is to bring them together, to try to form a bond with the teacher, with the other classmates, I know that for me as the third grade teacher, that is going to be my goal of those Zoom lessons. Yes, they can share their work, we can talk about classwork, but I can actually do a better job of helping them with their work through one-on-one email and comments through our portal. The goal of those Zooms is going to be to bring everybody together.
Yep. So you can imagine if there's birthdays in your classroom, your child's going to get sung to. It's going to be a community in that way. That's what we're looking for. We're looking to create something that isn't out there, that hasn't been done. Do we meet the teacher on Zoom before paying the registration fee? Probably not. But because we're running on such a tight schedule, and we are aiming to start school the first week or the week of August 24th, it is possible that there will not be any teacher meetings beforehand. This doesn't say absolutely not, but yeah.
During our, what did we call it? Our welcome week?
Welcome week.
We will have like parent interaction with the teachers and building that relationship between student and teacher as well.
Absolutely. We'll also have a lot of training that week too. We're very excited I'm just not even gonna let the cat out of the bag because it's gonna be some cool stuff and lots of people clapping. So I'm just gonna be quiet for right now. It will be amazing. We're very excited about it. We have the backing of several veteran Waldorf teachers for this project that are very excited of what we're doing. So what is Welcome Week? Welcome Week is the first week of school, and it starts August 24th. Okay, I think we're going to go ahead and close up now. Everybody's done. All right, if you have any questions, again, drop us a note, seasonsofsevenvirtualschool@gmail.com, and we'll get back with you as soon as we can. We hope you guys have a wonderful day. Bye.
Bye. Coming.
Thank you.